Good evening, everyone. Welcome to the Londonderry Town Council meeting. It is Tuesday, February 18th at 7 p.m. Please rise for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. What are we doing a moment of silence for? Anyone? Anyone for the,
The three people that are coming back from Hamas that are dead are coming back on Thursday. The family, a 2-year-old, a 5-year-old, and the mother, who are being given back to Israel.
all right. Please join me. Please be seated. All right, folks, we're going to open public comment. I know the acting town manager has asked to go first.
Well, I guess the acting town manager's going first.
So with that, the deputy chief is here to present.
Good evening, Council.
Good evening.
Thank you for this opportunity. We'd like to introduce our newest member, Officer Jasdeep Kaur. She's joining us from previously being certified in Durham Police Department. She has 3 years on the job, graduate of the 190th New Hampshire Full-Time Academy. She's originally from India, moved here at 13, and speaks 4 languages. So she's, since moving to America, she went on to go to college at UMass Boston with a bachelor's degree in criminal justice and a minor in psychology. So impressive, very impressive. Certainly, she brings valuable cultural and linguistic diversity to us. I don't think we have anybody that speaks any of the 4 languages that you speak, so that's very impressive. She has great attitude, eagerness to expand her knowledge and experience, and she's always striving for growth, growth personally and professionally. So we wanted to introduce her to you and welcome her to the town.
Shake your hands and introduce yourself. That'd be great. Thank you.
You too.
Congratulations.
Welcome aboard. Thank you.
Welcome. Thank you.
I was
Sit down, manager.
observing our acting town manager just smiling from ear to ear as Deputy Breen was introducing our new officer. Did a good job, Jason. Good job. All right, so folks, public comment, got 5 minutes. I'll start the timer when you're ready. Name and address, please. Good evening.
Polonsky, 89 Hall Road. And
Your phone's ringing.
Somebody saw you on TV.
got to shut it off. Okay, Richard Polonsky, 89 Hall Road. I want to bring something to the attention of the council that unfortunately hasn't been taken care of since 2014. We all know we have a problem with citizens petition warrant articles and warrant articles in general. In 2014, Article number 2, that was put forth by the town council by a vote of 5-0 to put it on the warrant, and it passed with a vote of 77% of the public, was to eliminate the tax collector town clerk position. The town clerk would be a part-time position. The tax collector would be a position that was appointed to somebody who's in the town clerk's office. The premise of this was to save the town $110,000 a year. It's done anything but save us that money. All right? We now have a tax collector who makes 74 plus some benefits, so say, 75 to 90,000 a year. We got a town clerk who's being paid $74,000 a year, who's working full-time. Town clerk was also promoted to be the department head by the town manager, Kevin Smith. Can't be the department head, not a town employee, not in the unions. They're an elected official. Town clerk's also getting a COLA adjustment, only elected official to get a COLA. That's just the tip of the iceberg with this. So you're supposed to pay them on a contract, a yearly contract that is done in public, just like you did the tax collectors last year. But isn't it funny? The town clerk's isn't. It's buried in the budget. That's illegal. You gotta put it in the budget for the money that's gonna be put on the contract. Hasn't been done. Why? I've been bringing this for years, other people have brought it up for years. You know, I hear, well, the town clerk works, 80 hours a week, that's their prerogative, but they are a part-time position. Go to the town report, A17, read the comments, read the discussion on this, read what Kevin Smith says, I will make sure that it stays a part-time position, the town clerk. I will make sure that the tax collector's position is absorbed into the town clerk's office. So even when the council, not this council, but the then sitting council, puts a warrant on, they don't follow through. Just like the 5 from last year didn't get followed through. I would suggest, you guys are looking for money to save, do what they were supposed to do, make the tax collector somebody in the town clerk's office, give them a stipend. All right, there's about 80, 90, they're making like 74 plus whatever their benefits add up to. Hasn't been done. So this position, this warrant article, by not doing what the town council said they wanted done and passed by 77% of the people that voted, has never been implemented. I've asked numerous times for it to be an agenda item. Everybody wants to wash their hands of it. Step up, do what needs to be done. That's why you're put here. It's one of the reasons I'm running this year, because I will step up and do this. Yeah, and everybody's gonna say I'm grandstanding because it's that time of year. No, I'm grandstanding because I tried doing this behind closed doors so it wouldn't come out in the public, and nobody did anything about it. Town clerk was getting a $5,000 stipend to be the deputy tax collector. Hasn't been that in years. So what do you, you're all people of mid-business, what happens to your stipend? It goes away? Nope, it got buried in their hourly pay. I have all of the paperwork from the town, from HR, all the adjustments, everything, okay? Showing it was done, we got it under a 91A right to know, because it's public record. So, when are you gonna do something about this? You wanna save money, save money, save money. This is cost the taxpayers, I'm guessing in the area of $350,000 between the two positions. Do something about it. We won't even go into the other 5, or the 2 I had in 2016 for the TIF districts and stuff, that were in on time, that I have receipts for, that came in on time, that John, when he was, I think he was chair or vice chair, refused to put on the warrant. You don't have a choice. 39:3, you have to put it on the warrant. I could have sued the town for that, I chose not to. Do the job you're put there to do. All right? Look into this warrant article. 2014, A17, read the comments. It's right there. This isn't difficult. It's only difficult when you don't do anything about it.
Thank you.
Deb Paul, 118 Hardy Road. I'm speaking at public comment because of something that is on new business, and I know it's not a public hearing, so I wanted to address it here. I wanted to talk about, hi. No wonder why I can't see. So anyway, it's the Londonderry Commercial and Industrial Property Tax Incentive Program, first reading. I did see that you updated the agenda and you actually put it in today at around 2:30. And I was able to look at it and do some stuff on it. Just a brief history. This program was originally created for blighted areas, downtown cities, buildings that had absentee landlords that were falling in disarray and basically being an eyesore in the town. And this was to encourage them to fix up their buildings. And I don't believe that's the problem in this town at the moment. So the big question to me is, why are you rushing this? Why is this such a rush? Is there a business that, barking at the bit that wants to get into the town and you're willing to do this for? Back in December, when this thing was about to sunset, I came forward and I asked, how many businesses had stepped forward? And at that time, I was told, no, nobody has stepped forward. Move forward a couple of weeks at the next council meeting, all of a sudden, we have 5 businesses that want to get in before this thing sunsets. And I believe Mr. Smith presented or represented some of them for a former town manager with his new business. So they stepped up and they moved forward. And part of the thing is that you as a council were to hear these businesses, what they were going to bring to the town, and if they were of value, and you were able to make a decision on whether you wanted to approve them. What we find out is that the agreement that was put in place, the old one, the old contract, didn't allow for that. So all of them had to pass. So now we have these 5 new big projects coming into town that are owned by billionaires. So that's wonderful that we're giving billionaires tax breaks. So I have a lot of problems with this, and again, I'm going to repeat, I just don't understand why you're rushing a TIF, why you're rushing into this tax increment deferred thing. You know, a lot of time, I wish John was here, because he would always say, I mean, there's almost 3 weeks to the election. We know there definitely will be 1 person new sitting up there. There may be 2. You should never impede the next council. So what is the rush? I want to know. I think you really have to take this thing apart line by line, because I looked at it and I found I have at least 30 to 40 questions line by line going through all the RSAs that are quoted in it and cited in it, and I question why this one and what part of this one. And then I look at it and I see at least 25 loopholes for developers to get out of and wiggle through. And in my opinion, you are not doing your job for this community unless you look at this line by line and do what's right, so that there isn't a little loophole that says every single thing has to pass. We don't even know if this is a good thing to pass to begin with, because I've never seen, even though people say, oh, it's great, it's going to help the economy, it's going to level the budget, I have never seen it happen in my 29 years in this town, where we keep saying, build, 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 your taxes will level. Like, that doesn't work. I want to see actual numbers. I want to say, well, if you get some taxes and it's better than no taxes, well, yes and no. If I get this much tax and the business actually has this much of an impact, then maybe that's not such a good thing at all, because that other little bit has to be picked up by somebody else. And we don't have crystal balls. We don't know what's going to happen. There's so many problems with this thing. I hope all of you listen to my words and take the time to do what is right. If we get all the data and it points to what this thing is supposed to do and it's right and it's airtight, then do it. But don't just do it willy-nilly just to do it, to satisfy somebody who's barking at it going, I want it, I want it, I want it. Take your time. After all, you have 5 that are coming in already. And if you haven't listened to the people on the master plan, doing the surveys,
Debbie, your time is up.
I just say this last sentence, okay? Now you made me forget. Master plan and stuff, they want to slow down development, be it commercial or residential. Do what's right for the people of this town, please.
Thank you. Good evening.
Christine Perez, 5 Wesley Drive, ditto. But I pulled all these RSAs. Have you all pulled all these RSAs that are on this and read the RSAs? I have, okay? This doesn't make any sense at all. It doesn't make sense. It's got big loopholes, big. So before you even begin to think about this, I ask you to pull each one of, there's I think 4 RSAs in here, 4 RSAs in here. I ask you to pull them and read them in conjunction with this. And I think you will find that this doesn't work. And I, again, want to know what the hurry is. It stinks that we had no one applying. 2 weeks later, we had 5 people applying. And now all of a sudden, we have to rush this. Let's make sure we don't get into the same mess that we got the last time. And The last one that was put up, I know y'all weren't here, but thank God Deb Paul was the only one that voted against it. Obviously, the only one who had read it, and thank you, Ron Dunn, for reading it and finding out we couldn't get out of it, so we didn't end up in a lawsuit. I would like to suggest that you spend less time on giving money away and spend more time. We have hundreds of apartment buildings being built, hundreds of them. When are you going to relook at impact fees? That's what you should be looking at. Don't tell me that these hundreds of apartments, and I believe in one of the areas, some of them are low-income houses, you need to look at the impact that that's going to have on police, fire, DPW, and the schools. Forget giving money away. Let's talk about bringing money in. Thank you.
Thank you. All right, with that, I'll close public comment. Appointments, reappointments, interview with Leo Lee for Conscom, alternate position. Leo is not in attendance tonight. Oh, hey. Sorry. Come on up.
They said that wasn't needed until like an hour later.
Well, we lied. No, I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. Leo, how are you?
I'm all right. How are you?
I'm doing well. So you're interested in the alternate position expiring the end of this year, December of this year, on the Conscom, correct?
Yes.
All right. So typically, what we do is we allow candidates to give a brief intro about themselves, why you're interested in the position. Then we'll open it up to the council for questions. Sound good?
Okay.
All right. So,
So,
Mike is yours.
all right. I'm Leo. I've been living in town for a dozen years. I enjoy the town a lot. It's changed a lot. Some not for the better. And I'm trying to control some of this craziness. I mean, based on what other people have said, not just here, but around town, I just want to balance, expansion versus other things. But I want to preserve the conservation areas that we have, like the parks and the Musquatch and other areas that we don't need to develop right away.
Okay. What do you do professionally?
I'm an engineer professionally, so I've been doing engineering since graduated in '95. So I did medical devices, structural engineering. I've done a little of everything. So.
Any conflicts with being on the Conscom?
No.
No? Okay. Council?
Are you available on Tuesday evenings at 7:30?
Yes.
Okay.
Anyone else? All right, with that, I'll accept a motion to appoint Leo Lee to the alternate Conscom position with the expiration date of December of 2025. I have a motion.
So moved.
All right, do I have a second? A motion from Ted, second from Ron. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Please reach out to the town clerk to be sworn in during normal business hours.
Okay.
Thank you very much. Welcome.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, with that, I will accept a motion, open a public hearing.
So moved. Second.
Motion from Ted, second from Ron. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Chair votes in the affirmative. We're in the public hearing. Resolution 2025-04. Acceptance of unanticipated revenue under RSA 31:95B, Section 3A, Project Safe Neighborhoods. We'll also hear Resolution 2025-04, acceptance of unanticipated revenue under RSA, the same RSA, which is also New England High-Density Drug Trafficking Area. Mr. Campo. Good evening, sir.
Good evening. So these two are a operation program with the two agencies you mentioned. The first one, we will be purchasing a bullet trap, a ballistic blanket, and a trailer. The maintenance on that trailer is included as part of the grant, or part of the agreement. The second one will cover the vehicle lease for the vehicle that's required, as well as any overtime costs that ensue. What this essentially does is it allows one of our officers at the cost of the New England High Intensity Drug Trafficking Area Group to take the trailer, bring it to different areas within the state. They will then run guns through, or not run guns through, they'll take shots into the, they call it a snail trap, but bullet trap, and it'll run through the NIBIN system to determine if that gun is linked to any other crimes within the area or within the United States. Just want to make sure I'm getting all that right. I've met with the two programs because it seems a little too good to be true where there's no strings attached. And I verified that essentially if they cancel this program, that trailer is ours. We don't have to pay them back for it. We don't have to do any of that. We don't have to continue this should all of a sudden the funding run out. We can stop right away if we determine that, hey, this isn't a good fit for us. By we, I mean the police department and police chiefs. We can tell them essentially, at that point, I think we need to give them a month, but there is no additional attachment to it.
Questions from the council?
Just want to ask on the first one, the 2025, how that one's working through the Manchester Police Department. Was it leftover monies that they had through that grant program? Was it
So
Project Safe
the
Neighborhoods?
Manchester Police Department is the only police organization in New Hampshire that has the NIBIN system. So the money was dedicated to them. However, they don't have the resources freely available, or they're busy with a bunch of other things to not be able to take a trailer and go up there.
Okay.
This would be done by our off-duty officers. The overtime that's paid by them would be reimbursed by the HIDA, or it's high intensity drug, that organization.
Wonderful. Thank you for the clarification.
If you don't mind me jumping on here, Mr. Chair, that was a lot for you to digest and remember from the meetings you attended with us. First off, I'd like to say just thank you to Mr. Campo for assisting us in attending these two meetings of importance for the police department and for the town of Londonderry. It's not every day that we have an opportunity to work with our federal partners in such a manner like this. As Justin alluded, the Project Safe Neighborhood through the Department of Justice, they had reached out to the Londonderry Police Department asking us if we were interested in partnering with them, as well as HIDA, as well as ATF. This partnership is to assist with solving crimes that go undetected. Now that there is this NIBIN's machine and programs out there, in a sense, it's kind of like a fingerprint machine we have at the PD. So it's similar to that. So they were looking for someone to assist New Hampshire State Police and Manchester in general, in the global sense. They needed more bodies, and they came to us because of our reputation for accepting grants, our reputation for professionalism in the law enforcement community, and our dedication to other agencies in assisting solving crimes. Important, as Justin mentioned, this is at no cost to anybody in this room, at no cost to anybody in this town. Plain and simple. This is a federal allocation that has already been awarded, and they need someone else to partner with them. We have gone through the process internally to find candidates. We narrowed it down to 3 solid performers, outstanding employees of the police department that are going to be trained and paid for by this program. Yet again, having our people be on the map, leading the way, as the Londonderry phrase goes, at another assignment, another program. This doesn't increase headcount. This doesn't take away a position. It gives the men and women of the police department an opportunity to excel, learn, and train in another area that could be beneficial to our community if we had that situation arise. I think it's a great program. It's worthy of participating in, and we as a community should be honored that out of any other municipality, and there had been many that wanted in on this program, and they chose us, we chose them. So kudos to Justin and Sarah. We had some long meetings on this, and without them, we wouldn't be here today. So thank you, Justin, and that's the gist of this program.
Thank you. Before we finish with the council, if it's all right, I'd like to go to the public, see if there's any public interest in their public hearings. Is there anything from the public regarding these 2 items? All right, seeing none, we'll go back to the council.
So I just had a question on, is both of these grants paying for that trailer and the use of that, or are they're separate and I missed the distinction between one and the other?
So the grants, I'm glad we took them together because essentially they work together.
Okay.
It's both of them together. The Project Safe Neighborhood will be paying for the trailer, the ballistic blanket, and the bullet trap. The HIDA one will be paying for the vehicle lease, overtime, and any various equipment that may be needed by the program.
Okay. Yeah, I did research into these grants, as I do every grant that comes across, and Project Safe Neighborhoods has been going on for a long time. That started happening under the Bush administration, so it's good that we got chosen. I'm very happy to hear that they're looking at us and seeing the professionalism that we put forward. So, good job.
Thank you. And just because there may be some confusion when we talk about this, I'll try to keep this meeting flowing, and I don't mind filling people in here. So the concept is simple. There's a vehicle and there's a trailer, an enclosed like snowmobile trailer. It'll be outfitted with our stuff and our federal partners on it. Inside the trailer is going to be a snail trap. So it would be like when you discharge a firearm, it goes into this hopper and it collects the bullet, and then the casing gets caught in the net. The bullets and the gun from that will then be transferred by the employee. So let's just say we had to go to Berlin and help them with a shooting. They would coordinate, they would go up, they would drive this, they would perform this duty in this enclosed trailer, and then they would respond to Manchester PD. They put the casings into this machine, like a fingerprint.
Forensics.
It analyzes it, it gets sent out, ATF reviews it, and then they come back to us at another point and say, this was involved in a crime somewhere else. It's really high-tech, really good stuff, and to your point, John, they have been around for a long time, and it is a phenomenal grant, and the opportunities don't come to every municipality. So it's an honor that we were picked to do this.
All right, any other questions, comments from the council?
I guess the only other question would be is, so it looks like it's maybe only $20,000, and would that be for 1 year? Is that for multiple years?
So
or
we'll be coming back with that one as we develop more and more. That's to get it started and to deal with the upfront costs and a couple of runs before we continue on.
Awesome. Thank you.
All right, so with that, I'll accept a motion to adopt resolution 2025-04 and 2025-05.
So moved. Second.
Motion from Ted, second from Ron. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Chair votes in the affirmative. I'll accept a motion to close the public hearing.
So moved.
Motion
Second.
from Sean, second from Ron. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Public hearing is now closed. New business, resolution 2025
Should be 6.
6, yeah.
6.
Should be 6.
It is 6 on the agenda. Okay, gotcha. Resolution 2025-06, resolution for the revision of general assistance guidelines. And this is Kelly.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. So again, this is related to the town's general assistance program. Currently, the town contracts with Greater Derry Community Health Services, also known as CHS. Through several meetings and discussions with CHS, they had recommended some updating to the allowable levels of assistance payments with respect to this program. And so before you this evening, you'll see in Appendix A, we've provided an update to those levels of assistance. Essentially, we utilized Derry's numbers that they provide, made some slight adjustments for Londonderry specifically. And so we're looking for the council to make a decision as to whether or not you want to proceed with adopting this revised Appendix A. I believe we also have someone here from CHS that can answer any additional detailed questions that you may have.
Okay. Questions from the council?
Can we have, if the person from CHS is here, can we have them present?
You mind coming up to the podium, please? And we'll just need your name. Don't need your address and the organization you represent.
Elizabeth Jones. The address is 14 Chanino Road in Derry for Community Health Services.
Thank you. Questions from the council? Go ahead.
I guess, can you tell us a bit more about this program and how many people it may be helping in our town, and so forth.
So Community Health Services has been contracting with the town to do their general assistance for quite a few years, back when Kevin Smith was here. It's an application process. There's a lot that goes to this. Generally, what we do is if anybody has any financial hardship, the most common is evictions. We try to cure the evictions if we can to keep them from being homeless. Electricity, people get their power shut off, and so we work with them. Everything is an application process. So there is an application that has to be filled out and the documents completed. Where this allowable comes in, every town, I do 4 towns. I do Derry, Londonderry, Hampstead, and Plastow, and I've been doing this, I've been at CHS for 31 years. This is a guide for us and what we can allow for rent. So the guidelines we had before, I think, were, I don't have the old one, but they were pretty old. I don't know if it was 2000.
2016.
Yeah, 2016. So trying to provide assistance is very difficult when you have a one-bedroom at $895. There's no one-bedrooms for $800. So we had asked the town to adjust their guidelines. All the other towns that I work with have done the same to be a little bit more realistic. So we use this as a guide. If, for food, rent, and there are certain things that are allowable up to a certain amount of money. And so if someone calls, I spend a lot of time with residents, and I put a lot of hard work with the residents. We just don't pay people ongoing. We try to make sure that if someone is coming in for rental assistance, if they're eligible, we ask for bank statements. There's a lot of documents we have for them, and I look at everything. If someone didn't pay their rent at $1,500 that month and has an eviction, we only pay current rent. And I look at their bank account, and they've had $5,000 coming in, and most of their expenses are non-allowable, that they're door dashing, Dunkin's every day. This is the types of things we see, non-allowable expenses. We work with people on budgets. We don't want to see anybody homeless, so we work well with them. We try to get them with also working out payment arrangements with landlords. We do what we can. We have other agencies that we call leverage funding that I work with, Isaiah 58. We work with Family Promise and other agencies that will help if I can't pay the whole rent, if they need a little help moving forward. So we put a lot of work. We make sure that the families that we're working with are getting the resources that they need. A lot of people don't know about electrical assistance and fuel assistance and SNAP. Or even medical assistance. I'll sit and do an application with anybody who is in need. We do work with the senior population on different programs with the state. I don't know if there's anything in particular you want to know. I mean, there's a lot that I do and a lot that goes on and a lot of work that goes on to keep residents getting, from being evicted. We are dealing with a lot of homeless right now in Londonderry, Derry, people that have been homeless, maybe living in Londonderry, became homeless. I helped a gentleman today who'd been living in the woods near Applebee's, and I got him a bus ticket to go back to mom in Pennsylvania. We'll do that type of stuff. If they are homeless and in my town, we'll help with first month's rent, but we have to make sure that they can afford going where they're going, because I can't dump them in another town and get them out of Londonderry or another town that I work with. But we put a lot of work into working with the residents. I'm sorry.
Oh, quick question. Do you think that these amounts are high enough?
Are
they going to be acceptable, or?
I go a little bit back and forth. I mean, the rents are getting higher. I look at the most of our rentals are Constitution Ave, Boston Ave, Capitol Hill, McGregor. I mean, a lot, Bridle Path over at Wallace Farms. Wallace Farms is a little bit more than this. The other ones on Constitution Drive and Capitol Hill, these are about pretty average.
Okay.
So they're market.
Yeah.
Yeah, about market, I would say, yeah.
Just want to make sure that
Right.
you feel comfortable with it.
Any other questions from the council? All right, thank you very much for your time. So with that, I'll accept the motion to adopt Resolution 2025-06, the revision of the general assistance guidelines.
So moved. Second.
Motion from Ted, second from Ron. All in favor, say aye. Aye. Any opposed? Chair votes in the affirmative. Ordinance 2025-03, expenditure from the Fire Equipment Capital Reserve Fund. Acting Fire Chief Fred Heimrich is presenting, or
Skip for a reason.
did I skip one?
You did. Skip.
It's out of order in my packet, I'm sorry. No, I didn't do it on purpose. Give me a minute, sorry. Oh, it's the first reading, I don't have the paper. All right, ordinance 2025-01, creating the Londonderry Commercial and Industrial Property Tax Incentive Program. I'll accept the motion to waive the first reading.
So moved.
Discussion?
For discussion, Mr. Dunn.
I would just like to, for the public in the audience today and for the people listening at home, if Kelly could just give a brief description of how this is different from the old one.
Sure.
Thank you.
So the last time the council discussed this matter was back in January, and the request was to revise the ordinance, essentially to provide the council with better teeth, if you will, for any potential denial or rejection for a site application should it come before you, and the council feel it not meet the criteria. The council expressed that the original ordinance did not provide that, so we did some revisions specifically to Section 8 of the ordinance, which speaks to public benefits, and provided specifically in the second paragraph of that section some additional language that, in my view, does give the council the ability to deny an application should you choose, and decrease the, I think the term we used last time, I guess, risk level when it comes to potential appeal of that decision or that decision upholding in court.
Okay, thank you. All right, and we'll get a full presentation on the 3rd regarding this.
Yes, sir.
All right, so I have a motion from Ted to waive the first reading. Do I have a second?
Second.
Second from Sean. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Chair votes in the affirmative. First reading is waived. Order 2025-03, the expenditure of the Fire Equipment Capital Reserve Funds. So this is the Z-Vent portable ventilator, as well as Order 2025-04, expenditure from the Fire Equipment Capital Reserve Fund. This is the Lucas device for chest compression system. Chief, good evening.
Hi, how are we today?
Doing well. How are you, sir?
Very good, thank you. So this is the next step in our ALS fly car or intercept program. Some of the equipment we bought last year, some of the equipment we bought through ARPA funds, and we're finishing off the equipment part of this. We also have in the future with, not through this process, but we're looking to replace the vehicle because we have not, we're repurposing a vehicle for that program, but this is finishing off the equipment.
Okay. So talk to me a little bit about the Z-Vent portable ventilator device.
All right, perfect. So this, when I say this is the premier ventilator in the field, it really is. So this allows us to do a number of things. At the very minimal level, it allows us to give a patient CPAP. If they're having a difficult time breathing, we can give them a little bit of a boost in their pressure to breathe. Next step up, it gives us BiPAP, which is even more of an assistance. And worst case, if we need to, we can breathe for somebody. And that's what this device does.
So full
Yep.
ventilation. And then the Lucas device, can you talk a little bit about that? From my understanding, that's the device that has a board underneath the patient and then a device that goes up under the arms and does chest compressions for CPR.
Yep. So this is a new device for us, not a new concept. In the past, we were using a product called the Autopulse. And through our employees working for different agencies, they said, hey, what if we try this one? So we brought in the vendor. We did a pretty good in-depth review of it. It's a brand new version of the product. And this is the first of this version we have. The other ones are still wonderfully working, but it's a different method of doing the same process.
Okay.
So,
Questions from the council?
I'll say on the Lucas device, I've been, watching a lot of medical dramas on TV lately. They've been showing very similar products being used and being able to keep people alive longer,
Oh,
so
they're-
they can get to the proper surgery timing that they need to.
I mean, also
they are
personnel.
truly a wonderful device. Even, we haven't had this, but one of our local hospitals had a device, a Lucas on a patient, and it was perfusing them so well that they started to wake up. It was giving good quality CPR. And the most important for us is to give good quality CPR. Our guys and girls do a wonderful job, but when we're in a moving ambulance, we don't want them not secured. This does that wonderfully. And it also allows a limited crew to have a machine do this while we're monitoring it, and the rest of the crew doing other things that are equally as important.
It's very intensive to be able to
Yeah.
give CPR to someone. So
they're
this is a
truly
great
amazing.
move forward.
So,
Anything else from the council? All right, I'll accept the motion to approve order 2025-03 and 2025-04.
So moved.
Second.
I heard Sean, so so motion from Ted, second from Sean, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Chair votes in the affirmative. Thank you, chief.
great, thank you very much.
All right,
Time to talk about snow.
snow.
Has there been?
Hey there, yeah. Yep, so order 2025-05, expenditure from the Emergency Maintenance Trust Fund, winter maintenance. Director Wally, good evening, sir.
Good evening. Back before you again, looking for some more money to battle snow. So this will be our third allocation for winter maintenance for $17,000. When I was before you a couple weeks ago, that second allocation went fairly quickly, and with this last event, I'm already spending money in this one. And just for some edification, if you will, of events, I kind of built in a column there to the right. I think it should be in your packet, at least maybe it. I'm not sure which version I gave Kirsten, but right now we're on our 18th event, and we're at 41 inches of precipitation. So you can see by previous years and how many events we've had and the accumulation amounts and stuff like that, that not all snow is created equal, and sometimes it gets a little bit more expensive to deal with it. And this year we've had our fair share of icing and sleet and whatnot, and it's always more expensive to deal with that than snow because of the treatment process. So, so I'm looking for another $17,000 to treat all of it. This is just for facilities now, just so we're not confused. And I would like to add, though, to that, thank you to this board and previous boards and town managers and whatnot supporting. When I first got here in '21, our salt budget was, I believe, was $180,000. And if we had not moved that up to 290, where it's currently budgeted, we would be in some significant budget crisis right now. Because as of today, on the street side of things, DPW side of things, we've spent $195,000 on salt. So in our sand pile that we spent $37.5, we were only budgeted for 30, but we got an additional $7,500 at the closing of ARPA and got more sand. And we're grateful that we got that, because we'd be in pretty big trouble right now too in regards to sand. So some of those budget constraints would really be impacting us very hard right now. Had we had not made the important decisions and tough decisions over the last few years and getting the budget, some of those budget lines right-sized. So I thank you for that.
All right, questions from the council?
And just to be clear for everyone, this is only for the facilities.
This is just for
of
the
town,
facilities.
not
so
for
it's-
roads.
Yep, the 3 firehouses, PD, this campus, and the senior center. That's what this money is for.
And it's, all right, anything else? I'll accept the motion to approve order 2025-05 for the sum of $17,000 from the Expendable Maintenance Trust Fund.
So moved.
Motion from Ted, do I have a second?
Second.
Second from Sean, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? It was approved. Thank you.
Thank you.
Approval of minutes, so I'll accept, does anyone have any revisions to the minutes? Seeing none, I'll accept a motion to approve February 2nd, 3rd, 8th, 9th, 10th, and 11th Town Council meeting minutes.
So moved.
Second.
Motion from Ted, second from Ron. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Chair votes in the affirmative. Minutes are approved. Liaison reports.
At the planning board, Sylvia from Southern New Hampshire Planning Commission presented the master plan committee for the master plan report on where we are in the survey. Very interesting, see all the data and what's come back so far. So that'll help shape the work to come, but just gave us an update.
Will they be presenting that to the council at some point as well?
I don't know, I can check and report back on that. So it's this Thursday.
Great.
Anything else?
I'd just like to once again thank on behalf of Beautify Londonderry, thank the Londonderry Police Association for their generous donation. Really appreciate it.
All right. Town manager report.
Well, it's kind of weird for me to sit here and respond to this one. I think I should be standing over there, but
Fine.
I'll give this a try. First off, I can't continue without saying thank you to Dave Wally and the men and the women of the DPW. They have been true heroes in every sense these last 3 days. To work the amount of hours that these men put in is remarkable. And without them, we've talked about this many times, we would not be able to get to our citizens' homes in a time of emergency without them. They are first responders. They lead the way for us every single snowstorm, and you can't thank them enough for what they do. We all had to tend to our driveways, walkways, and it was a lot. I was getting annoyed thinking of sunshine and sand too. So kudos to them. Dave, your staff is unbelievable. Thank you. It's been a busy first week, as you gentlemen know, shifting gears over here to the town hall. I will say that that first week has been an eye-opener for me, but also a pleasure. It really reiterates to me that we hire some amazing people here in the town of Londonderry. Our employees, watching what I see here this last week, they are very busy people. They are devoted, dedicated professionals. I know at times things don't seem to move as fast as our citizens would like, and I understand that. But having a seat here and monitoring what goes on every day, getting caught up to speed with the projects that are out there, it's overwhelming and astronomical. I'm proud of these men and women that serve in this building, as you guys are too. And for an update, I'd like to talk about two positions that have been of quite discussion throughout. Why is there no town planner? Well, Kelly Karen, the team of the HR department, have found a planner. Her name is Kristen Farr. Kristen is a remarkable woman. She has 20 years of experience in public and private sector for planning. So far, she has been a pleasure to see daily here. She's getting caught up to speed with the leadership and tutelage from Kelly and their staff. So that is a giant win, in my opinion, for the town to get someone of her experience. So kudos to Kelly and Tara for getting that done for the citizens of Londonderry. The second one I'd like to take a moment and speak on is another vacancy that has been talked about for some time, and that's the part-time code enforcement position here in the town, which works with and supports the code enforcement division upstairs right above us. I am pleased and humbled to say that Londonderry lost a great employee, but the town hall gained it in return. Glenn April is going to be assuming the role of the part-time code enforcement officer here for the town hall. Glenn has worked as a police officer for probably, if he's listening to this, 38 to 40 years. Glenn hired me way back when, did my background, and I owe him a tremendous amount of gratitude, and I still have to pay him off for letting me work here. He reminds me of that all the time. Glenn will be starting March 3rd, I believe, and at a much-needed position to serve. So kudos to them for recognizing Glenn, hiring him on that. Last week, I attended an event with the Londonderry Police Department at the Baldwins, part of the community outreach program that the PD is expanding upon, and it was called Breakfast at the Baldwins. We all know where that facility is. My first time giving a full tour of that facility, and I will tell you, I was beyond impressed. I don't know what else to say other than wow. What a facility. The residents there have everything and then some that they need. I don't fit the age restriction, but that would definitely be something that anyone should consider. It is epic. Great thing to have in our community down there at the Baldwins. Another event, the rec department here in the town hall partnered with LPD, and they did the second annual teddy bear clinic for the citizens and their children and their little loved stuffed animals. Great turnout. The PD is involved in so many events, but to see the efforts that Doug, who runs the part-time rec, he and his staff and people put together in that was awesome. We held it at the PD. A lot of kids with interesting and fascinating stuffed animals. Good stuff there, and we had, if I get this wrong by any of the Disney people, I apologize, but an Elsie or an Elsa something. Elsa? An Elsa princess stopped by to see the children and chat with some teddy bears and stuff. So another amazing event here in our community we should all be proud of. 2 things left to go, and I'm done. The Londonderry Lantern. Everyone has grown to love that Londonderry piece of reporting. It's going to be coming out shortly. As we all know, who runs that program. She is a phenomenal employee of your town hall, and she should be recognized. She puts in a lot of work. She's been wearing multiple hats and doing lots of stuff. And this is one of the things that we talked about, and I too am looking forward to maybe seeing what's been happening out here. So that is in the works. And then lastly, there's going to be a Bring Back the Trades Skills Expo in conjunction with the Rotary Club, the Londonderry High School, Londonderry Police Department, and some sponsors from the community at the high school. And I believe it's going to be in April. Who said that? Dave Wally, April 26th. So great event for the next future leaders of our community to come on down, sign up, take a peek, see what they have to offer. And I'm being told that some lucky person may win a full scholarship of some sort. So these efforts are alive and well in town, despite what we all think or people tell us. Good business is being done in this building. Good business is being done by your department heads throughout, and I couldn't be any more proud to serve in this temporary capacity as your acting town manager. So thank you all for your faith and trust in me to help steer this ship. So that's all I have.
Thank you, sir.
I was hoping to be at the teddy bear clinic with my son on Saturday, but our day got busy. But the photos looked phenomenal, and everyone looked like they were having a great time. And I even saw a guy bring their stuffed animals in on a stretcher, which I thought was really awesome.
That animal was suffering quite well, but if Fred had the machine that we just talked to Lucas thing there, you know, that would have came in handy, I think. So it's a great event, and hopefully next year you'll be able to bring those teddy bears down and have them checked out.
Thank you, sir. Assistant Town Manager report.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Over the last couple of weeks, I've been attending various economic development committees that I sit on regionally. In addition to that, as Councilor Faber mentioned, we are still in the process of updating our master plan. The subcommittee meets on this Thursday, right here in this room. So I would encourage you, if you haven't attended yet, to sit in on that session to get an update. And if the council is looking for a presentation of sorts, I'd be happy to arrange that for you. Just let me know. Outside of that, the planning department is fully staffed, so we're busy, we're training, and we're ready to go.
Good work. Awesome. Thank you. And to that, the meetings, the boards, or the meetings and boards you attend, I'd also like to point out that you hold several leadership positions on those as well. So I'll use a naval term, Bravo Zulu, to you, and thank you for representing our community well. So, all right, folks, meetings is March 3rd, 7 p.m., followed by the town election held at the high school gymnasium from 6 a.m. to 8 p.m. Again, that's March 11th. followed by March 17th, the regular town council meeting here in the town council chambers. With that, I'll accept the motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Second.
Motion from Ted, second from Ron. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Chair votes affirmative. We're adjourned. Have a good evening. Be safe.